Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Comfort Podcast, a place where you can relax, improve your English, and enjoy real conversations.
We're very happy you're here with us today. Maybe you're listening while drinking coffee. Maybe you're walking outside. Or maybe you're taking a quiet break after a busy day. Wherever you are, thank you for spending this time with us.
Today's topic is something many English learners struggle with, something that can make speaking English feel slow, stressful, and frustrating.
Let me guess. Is it grammar?
No, not grammar.
Vocabulary?
Nope,
Pronunciation?
not that either.
Then what is it?
Today we're talking about translating. More specifically, why translating every sentence in your head can make English harder than it needs to be.
Oh, I know that feeling. You want to say something simple, but first, you think in your language. Then you translate. Then you check if the sentence sounds correct. And by that time, the conversation has already moved on.
Exactly. And if you've ever experienced that, you're definitely not alone. Many English learners do this every day.
The good news is that thinking in English is a skill. And like every skill, it can be learned.
That's right. Today we'll talk about simple ways to help your brain think more naturally in English. No complicated techniques, no pressure. Just practical ideas that you can start using today.
And hopefully, by the end of this episode, speaking English will feel a little easier and a little more natural.
So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's begin.
Emma, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Why do so many learners translate in their heads? Why does it happen?
That's actually very normal. When we start learning a language, our brain naturally uses what it already knows. So instead of thinking directly in English, we first think in our native language.
It's like using a bridge.
Exactly. The bridge helps us at the beginning, but sometimes we stay on the bridge for too long.
And then traffic starts building up.
That's actually a great way to describe it. Your brain is doing extra work. First one language, then another language.
I remember when I started learning a new language. Someone asked me a simple question, and I knew the answer. But inside my head, there was so much activity.
What happened?
First, I thought of the answer in my own language. Then I searched for English words. Then I worried about grammar. Then I worried about pronunciation. And by the time I was ready, the other person was still waiting.
I think many listeners know that feeling.
It's exhausting. Sometimes speaking feels like solving a puzzle.
That's because translating requires many steps, but fluent speakers don't usually do that.
They don't?
No, when a fluent speaker sees a cup of coffee, they don't think of a word in another language first. They simply think, coffee.
Just directly.
Exactly. The idea and the English word become connected. No translation needed.
That sounds much easier.
And it is. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens little by little, one small thought at a time.
So the goal isn't to force ourselves. The goal is to slowly teach our brain a new habit.
That's right. And the good news is that your brain is incredibly good at learning habits.
Even as adults?
Even as adults. Every time you hear English, every time you read English, every time you use English, you're helping your brain build new connections.
So if you're listening right now and you're still translating in your head, don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong.
Exactly. You're simply at a different stage of the journey. And today, we're going to talk about how to take the next step. So, Daniel, if translating all the time isn't the goal, what should learners do instead?
Many people think they need to suddenly start thinking in full English sentences, but that's actually not necessary.
Exactly. Thinking in English doesn't start with long conversations. It starts with very small thoughts.
Tiny thoughts, simple thoughts, the kind of thoughts you already have every day.
For example, imagine you wake up in the morning. You open your eyes. What's the first thing you see? Maybe it's your bed. Maybe it's a window. Maybe it's your phone. Instead of thinking in your own language, try thinking one simple English word. Bed. Window. Phone. That's it.
No full sentence, no grammar, just a simple English thought.
Exactly. Then maybe you walk into the kitchen. You see a cup of coffee. You can think, coffee, hot coffee, smells good.
And notice something important. Those thoughts are very small, but they're directly in English.
Right. You're building a direct connection between the object and the English word.
Let's try a few more examples. You're looking outside. You see rain. You can think, rain. It's raining. Beautiful rain.
You're walking in the park. You see a dog. You can think, dog, cute dog, friendly dog.
You're eating lunch. You can think, rice, chicken. This is delicious.
I like that one.
Me too, especially around lunchtime.
The important thing is that you're not translating. You're simply noticing the world around you, using English.
And the wonderful thing is that you can do this anywhere. At home, at work, on the bus, at school, while shopping, while cooking.
Just one small English thought at a time.
And those small thoughts begin to grow. One word becomes two words. Two words become a sentence. And one day, you realize you're thinking in English much more often.
Without forcing it, without stress, without pressure.
Just one small thought at a time.
And honestly, that's how many good habits begin. So, Daniel, we've talked about small English thoughts, but there's something else that can help a lot.
What's that?
Building an English environment around yourself.
An English environment? Even if you don't live in an English-speaking country?
Absolutely. In fact, most learners don't live in an English-speaking country, but they can still surround themselves with English every day.
How?
Through listening, through reading, through the content they choose to enjoy.
That sounds much easier than studying grammar for hours.
For many people, it is. Think about it this way. The more English your brain hears, the more familiar English becomes.
Like hearing a song many times.
Exactly. The first time you hear a song, it feels unfamiliar. But after hearing it again and again, the words start to feel natural.
So English works the same way.
Very often, yes. That's why listening is so powerful. Podcasts, videos, audiobooks, conversations, all of these help your brain become comfortable with English.
And that's one reason we're happy you're listening today.
Exactly. Every minute you spend listening helps your brain recognize patterns.
What about reading?
Reading is wonderful too, but many learners make one small mistake.
What's that?
They choose material that's too difficult.
And then they spend more time translating than reading.
Exactly. Instead, try reading things that feel comfortable. Short articles, simple stories, easy books, content that you can mostly understand.
So the goal isn't to understand every single word.
No, the goal is to spend time with English, to see English again and again and again.
That sounds much less stressful.
It really is. And here's something important. You don't need to create a perfect English environment overnight.
Small steps again?
Always. Maybe you listen to 10 minutes of English while making breakfast. Maybe you read one page before bed. Maybe you watch a short video during lunch.
Those small moments add up.
They really do. Day after day, week after week, your brain starts becoming more familiar with English.
And when English feels familiar, thinking in English becomes easier.
Exactly, because your brain is no longer meeting English as a stranger. It's meeting an old friend.
So, if you're trying to think more naturally in English, surround yourself with English whenever you can.
Little by little, without pressure, without perfection, just one small step at a time. Now, Daniel, let's talk about something that makes many learners nervous: speaking.
Ah, yes, the moment when all the English words suddenly disappear.
Exactly. Many learners understand English when they read, they understand English when they listen, but speaking feels much harder.
Why do you think that happens?
Because when we speak, there's no pause button. Our brain has to find the words quickly, and sometimes that feels scary.
Especially when we're afraid of making mistakes.
That's a big reason. Many people wait until their English is perfect. But here's the problem: perfect English never comes first. Practice comes first.
That's interesting. So we shouldn't wait until we're ready?
Exactly. Speaking is how we become ready.
I like that. Speaking is how we become ready.
And here's something many learners forget: you don't always need another person to practice speaking.
Really?
Really, one of the best ways to practice is talking to yourself.
Talking to yourself?
Yes, and before anyone worries, it's completely normal.
I actually do that sometimes.
Me too. It's a wonderful way to practice. There's no pressure, no judgment, no fear of mistakes.
And what can people talk about?
Anything. You're making breakfast. You can say, "I'm making coffee. The coffee smells good. I'm hungry."
Simple English.
Very simple English. You're walking outside. You can say, "It's a beautiful day. The sky is blue. The air feels fresh."
You don't need complicated sentences.
Not at all. Simple English is powerful.
And the more we use simple English, the more confident we become.
Exactly. Confidence grows through use, not through perfection.
So if you're listening right now, don't worry about sounding perfect. Don't worry about using difficult words.
Start small. Use the English you already know.
One sentence, then another sentence, then another.
And slowly, speaking begins to feel more natural.
A little less scary.
A little less scary, and a lot more enjoyable.
I think that's an important message. English doesn't have to feel stressful.
No, learning English can be calm, comfortable, and even fun.
And every time you speak, even for just a few minutes, you're helping your brain become more confident.
One small conversation at a time, even if that conversation is with yourself. Daniel, there's one thing we've talked about many times today: small steps.
Yes, small thoughts, small conversations, small moments of English.
Exactly. And now I'd like to talk about something very simple: a daily habit.
Let me guess, an hour of English every day?
No, much less than that.
30 minutes?
Still less.
Really?
Really, for many people, just 10 minutes a day can make a big difference.
Only 10 minutes?
Yes, because consistency is often more important than intensity.
That's interesting. So 10 minutes every day is better than 3 hours once a week.
For most learners, yes, because your brain learns through repetition.
Seeing English again and again.
Exactly. A little English today, a little English tomorrow, and a little English the day after that.
That feels much more manageable.
It does. And when something feels manageable, you're more likely to continue.
What could someone do in those 10 minutes?
Many things. Listen to a short podcast. Read a page of a simple book. Think in English while drinking coffee. Talk to yourself for a few minutes.
Or maybe review a few words you learned recently.
Exactly. The activity isn't the most important thing. The habit is.
Showing up every day.
That's right, because language learning is a little like planting a seed.
You don't see the growth immediately.
No, but every day, something is happening beneath the surface. Your brain is learning, your confidence is growing, your habits are becoming stronger.
And one day, you suddenly notice a difference.
Maybe you understand more. Maybe you speak more easily. Maybe you're translating less.
And that's when you realize those 10 minutes were worth it.
Exactly. Small daily actions, big long-term results.
I like that. Small daily actions, big long-term results.
And the best part is, anyone can start today, even with just 10 minutes. Before we finish today's episode, let's practice together.
Oh, I like this part.
Me too. And listeners, don't worry. These are very simple sentences. Just listen and repeat after me.
Take your time. There's no rush.
Ready? Let's begin. I am learning English.
Very good. Let's try another one.
I can think in English.
Excellent.
Every day, I get a little better.
That's a wonderful sentence.
Now let's try some daily life English. I am drinking coffee. I am walking outside. The weather is nice today. I feel calm.
Very nice. Simple sentences, but very useful.
Exactly. Now let's make them a little longer. I am learning English every day. I enjoy listening to English podcasts. I am becoming more confident.
Great job, everyone.
And remember, you do not need perfect English. You only need practice. Let's say that together. I do not need perfect English. I only need practice.
I really like those sentences.
Me too. Now, one final sentence. A sentence I hope you'll remember after today's episode. I can learn English one step at a time.
Beautiful.
And one more time, slowly. I can learn English one step at a time.
Excellent work.
If you repeated those sentences today, you practiced speaking English. And that's something to be proud of. And that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
We hope today's conversation helped you feel a little more confident and a little more comfortable with English.
Remember, you don't need to be perfect. Just keep taking small steps. One thought, one sentence, one day at a time.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to English Comfort Podcast.
Take care of yourself, keep listening, keep learning, and most importantly, be kind to yourself along the way.
We'll see you again very soon.
Until next time,
Bye, everyone.